Hey guys, it is a Thursday, September 8th. It's Joe Madden here. I am joined by Coach James Young of Sports Grid. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Joe. I haven't talked to you in a couple of months, which means I was enjoying a lot of time at the beach, and now kids are back to school. I'm back in school, so it's great to talk to you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here today. Everyone is talking NFL. We're going to turn the tables. We're going to do something different. We're going to talk some WNBA, talk some NBA for the next upcoming season because, Coach, when we got you on, we have to get your take on this for sure.
Well, it's great to, it's a little bit of a, I'm feeling kind of indifferent, tonight. Obviously, big game 5 tonight between Chicago and Connecticut. Just don't agree with the time start of 8 o'clock going up against Bills Rams, but there is a betting market. People want to bet the WNBA. It can be profitable for you. It's been profitable for me. So let's get down to business.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about this time slot of this game tonight, going right up, like you said, against the NFL. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think we'll see adjustments in the future to the timing of these games?
I mean, you should. I mean, Joe, if you think about it, college football plays games on Thursday night. Look at the board. There's no D1A college football games on tonight. They moved some games to Friday. NFL, everybody knows when the season starts, and they always do Thursday night football, and they always do a marquee matchup. So it would make sense to look at that and not go against that. Even if you tried to do, let's say, a 6:30 start tonight, NFL is probably not going to kick off to about 8:15, 8:20 or so. You could have gotten the majority of the game in, Joe, and then maybe the last couple of minutes people are going back and forth if it's a close ball game. But let's move forward, Joe. Game number 1 of the WNBA Finals, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then you go into, I believe, game number 3 on Sunday, September the 18th, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So those are definitely dates that I think the WNBA has to be careful of. I thought it would have been a better case of maybe play it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, turn around. Yes, you would go against the Monday Night Football, but maybe you go a little bit early and go Monday, Wednesday, Friday again to begin the WNBA Finals. So we'll see how viewership is, but something tells me that when the numbers come out, the ratings, you may see adjustments by ESPN, who's the main television partner for the WNBA. Maybe they adjust next year if they don't get a big number tonight.
Yeah, I thought it was really only the NHL that came up and just played games at the same time as the NFL. Smart to make those changes for these other leagues. Hopefully the WNBA does as well, because I think it's one of those sports that not enough people do tune into. These women play absolutely fantastic basketball. So it's something to keep in mind tonight before you start your Buffalo Bills and Rams game. To tune into the start of this one, Coach, what do you got in this game tonight?
Joe, I've been going back and forth pretty much all day. And, I'm settling in now on taking the Chicago Sky minus the points. Is at 4.5. Maybe you can find it at 4 at other sports books. Sky are 4-1 against the spread the last 5 games overall, 4-1-1 against the spread the last 6 games following a straight up loss. But the key to me is Connecticut has been really inconsistent. They've been hot some games, have been cold some games, a couple of games where they've shot under 40% from the floor, including that nightmarish performance in the paint in game number 3. I do like the Chicago Sky minus a point. So go with that. I'm going to go to the over 159.5 in this game. To me, this is a low number. They flew way past this in game number 4. All 4 regular season games went over this mark. I think Chicago tries to open up the pace a little bit and make this a transition game, because that is not the strong suit for Connecticut, even though they won, the last game in a high-scoring game.
Coach, it's going to be an exciting game for sure in this one. Anything else that you've got in the WNBA that you're looking at?
Yeah, I got a couple of player props. First, I'm going to go to Kalia Copper, over 16.5 points, averaging 16 during the playoffs, 15.7 regular season, gone under 16.5 in 5 straight. But one game missed by the hook, 2 other games they get to 15. If I'm telling you that I think the game is going to open up and play with pace, the most athletic and gifted one-on-one scorer in transition in the half court in the wing is Kalia Copper. I expect her to have a big game, and then I'm going to go to the wily veteran. Candace Parker, folks, sorry about the 11-9 last game, but she has been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to go to her assists at 4.5, averaging 4.9 assists per game during the regular season, has not had less than 4 assists in any game. So I'm banking on her getting that extra assist to get her to 5. I expect a big game out of Candace Parker, maybe not in regards to scoring like she's done, but I expect her to facilitate. Look for Candace Parker to go over 4.5 assists.
Definitely a couple of great ways to take this game. Love that you're throwing some props in there as well, Coach. Thank you. We know the NBA is right around the corner too, with preseason starting later this month. Any teams you're high on for this upcoming season?
Yeah, there are a couple of teams, Joe, that I'm really high on. One team I'm high on is actually the New Orleans Pelicans. I expect a big season out of them. Remember, they had CJ McCollum come in to the fold midseason. No Zion all year, and they gave the Phoenix Suns all they could handle, Joe, when it came down to that Game 6 first round of the playoffs. I expect a motivated Zion to have that weight clause in his contract. I expect that they're going to have a really, really good year. So taking a look at the New Orleans Pelicans, right now their win total is at over 43.5 wins. I firmly like them to go over. On the flip side, when you start looking at teams to go under, I think Danny Ainge is all in the rebuilding mode. We saw the Donovan Mitchell trade take place. Look at guys like Barjanovich, Clarkson, Conley, any veteran to get moved. This is what we call it, folks, the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. So look for a team that could be tanking. Look for under 25.5 wins for the Utah Jazz this year. I think that's a good building year for them. Yep. And I'll give you one more over. I am extremely, and it pains me to say this as a Knicks fan, I am very high on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Really? Okay.
50.5, Joe. I think Embiid, I don't want the MVP. He wants the MVP. He probably was robbed of it last year versus the Joker. Big year. But look at the pictures of James Harden. He looks the best shape in years. If he keep his hamstring together, it should be good. And don't sleep on the addition of PJ Tucker for toughness, for defense. Move Matisse Thybulle to the bench. Tyrese Maxey continues his ascension to be a bona fide superstar player. Give me the Philadelphia 76ers over 50.5 wins.
Oh, I like it. I think that is a great way to take that. And you're right. James Harden is looking so good coming into this next season here. Are you going to be betting preseason, Coach James?
It's going to really depend, Joe. It's going to have the ramp up how the minutes are played. That's when it gets tough. I think what you do is you look at what's happening pregame, maybe see if the coaches tip off the minutes, and maybe play it half or quarter or even live. I'm going to be a little leery of laying points or taking points unless I get some kind of indication from the coaching staff how many minutes star players are playing. So I'm a little leery with the preseason games, but I think a lot of it will come down to who plays and then maybe playing it for shorter time frames, quarter versus half rather than the full game.
Great advice there. It has been a long summer in retrospect since I've had you on. I want to thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Can you remind everyone where to find yourself as well as the shows that you jump onto?
You can find me at Coach Young NJ on Twitter, JRY02 on Instagram, still doing a lot of stuff with Sports Grid. We'll start to obviously crank it up, Joe, as we get into October. I'll be on probably telling you in-game live with Cam Stewart. Gabe Morency's probably having himself a grand old time at LA, getting ready for the Bills-Rams game. So I'll probably be on at 7 o'clock hour. Scotty Farrell, probably once we get into the NBA season, I may be on daily with them. So check me out, on Sports Grid. I try to keep my social media updated when I go on. And of course, anytime pregame, you'll see it in a couple of minutes. I'll put up my scouting report, probably go through some of the same things we talked about at Coach Young NJ on Twitter.
Yeah, get that scouting report out because I love what you're doing with that content, Coach. It's great. It's fantastic. You guys make sure you go over and give the coach a follow. Find him on Twitter and Instagram. Did you say you had a TikTok as well, Coach?
I got to work on this. I got 2 daughters, 9 and 7. Maddie wants to be on TikTok. My wife and I are like anti-TikTok. So this may be the next step in the social media evolution of the coach. But right now, TikTok, I'm going to hold on for dear life and stick to my Twitter as my main way of communicating with the public.
Well, when you need help with that, make sure you ask your girls because they definitely will be able to help you out. All the kids know exactly what's trending on TikTok. But you guys, thanks so much for joining us here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. We'll be back next week. Coach, crush it in the WNBA playoffs here.
Thanks, Joe. Always a pleasure to be on with you. See you soon.
Thank you.